Welcome to Platinum Talks. I am Mark Lewis with Platinum System here, and I've got a great guest today, Mr. Matt Prados from ReviewWave. Matt, how you doing today?
Excellent, Mark. Thanks for having me.
Hey, great to see you. Great to see you. I know Platinum and ReviewWave have worked well together for many years, and we got a great symbiotic kind of relationship that integrates well together.
Absolutely. Complete deep integration works well for our clients.
Perfect, perfect. Well, kind of tell me, how did you kind of get started with ReviewWave?
Yeah, so it was almost 5 years ago now that we kind of started the initial testing version one of getting reviews for chiropractors, and it was a hypothesis that if they had more reviews, they would get more new patients, and so we're trying to help them out with that, and it sure proved out and works like gangbusters. And every time you get more reviews and you get shown in Google, you definitely get more new patients, and that was the start of it. But as you know, today the feature set is much different and much more robust than just reviews.
Yeah, so reviews change. It seems like you're always having to change something about at least every 6 months, I think, doesn't it? I mean, Google changes their thing, Facebook changes thing. I mean, how are you keeping up with all this stuff?
So it's just our world. So we keep our eyes on it, obviously. There's all kinds of different, things that they say or rules that they set, or, links change, various things. What was actually funny the other day, I got an email from Google giving me the link to share to ask for reviews ourselves as a business.
Really?
Which is funny because Google has in the past said you're not supposed to ask for reviews, and then it was, well, you're not supposed to ask only some people, so that means you got to ask everybody. So we had to adjust our system to stay compliant there. And so yeah, it's a constant circus with some of their rules and regulations for sure, but we stay on top of it. We keep compliant to keep our clients safe.
Well, that's great, because I know some people try to get reviews themselves and they might get dinged here and there, but you've gone way beyond reviews now. I mean, what are some of the few newer features that you've come out with here recently?
Yeah, so we really dove deep and started reading the negative feedbacks that offices would get. And so then we would see what patients felt was missing. Online scheduling was probably the single biggest thing there. And so there's two forms of online scheduling. There's like having a mobile app to be able to schedule. And so your existing patients can definitely use that kind of technology. However, if it's a new patient, they don't have your mobile app. They don't know who to schedule with, all these various things. So having a separate component where you can have people schedule on your website for the first time is absolutely, a game changer. So I've taken guys that have been practiced for 20 years, never got a new patient on the internet. We boost their reviews, put the online scheduling on their website, and now all of a sudden they're getting, 20, 30 new patients from the internet, just Google, without paying a ton of money to marketing agencies, et cetera, simply because they have the tools that people are going online are looking for. And it's very easy and the experience is simple. So online scheduling, vital. If you are spending money on marketing, it's even more vital. We typically see a 2 to 3 times expansion on the number of new patients from the internet when you move from a request an appointment button, which a lot of website companies like to call online scheduling, but it's really just requesting. When you actually move to real-time online scheduling that writes right into the system, like ReviewWave does with Platinum. And so if you don't have online scheduling, absolutely a huge item. And then, from there, we moved into true business texting was another big feature that was missing. So a lot of times you get, some random 10-digit number and you can send a text message from that, or you do an email to text because it's super inexpensive. And while those are better than nothing, the top in class absolute best way to go about texting is definitely using your business number. And so when we launched our texting platform, it was using your business number, so the patient can call you and text you on the same number. And we saw offices with big numbers, doing 1,000 plus a week, where they actually got a bump of 10% more people showing by switching to the business number with a little bit better language as well. Part of my background is sales copywriting and conversion optimization. So everything we do, we work on user interface, user experience. But the business number, absolutely crucial. It just makes sense. People know that technology today, you should call and text the same number versus not being able to call the person that texts you. It's just kind of weird. So that's a huge feature. And then where else do we go? So recently, I probably haven't even heard about this, Mark, but we released a web chat. So when you're on a website, a lot of times you'll see that little button, typically in the lower right-hand side, it's a chat button or whatever. The problem with it is most of the time you click on it, you open it up, you put your name, you put your message, hit send. Whoever you're sending it to is going to typically answer in a few hours.
Yeah.
Who wants to sit around for a few hours, right? So what they do is they close the browser and they leave. Then you don't have any contact information because even when you reply, they're gone. They're not in that browser anymore. So what we actually do is we have them put their cell phone number. The minute the message comes in, it goes right into our dashboard the same way all other text messages do. And so the staff can reply, when they need to, or they can use our auto attendant replies and actually, text that person at any given time because you always take your cell phone with you, except in the case I actually broke mine the other day. So I've been cell phoneless for like 2 days. New one's coming today, but for the most part, it actually was very refreshing. Most people answer their text message, or most people read their text messages about 95%, and about 90% of those are read in the first 2 minutes. So I mean, it's crazy how fast communication is when texting. So we have that live chat feature there. We also did a analysis of another high volume clinic. They were seeing, I don't know, probably about 700 visits a week, and we put call tracking on their website, and we monitored how many calls came in after hours or even during hours that were then canceled or not canceled, but not answered or hangups, right? And so what we found is he had 48 people call and not leave a message. So then we took those 48 numbers and we cross-referenced them with his EHR. And in doing that cross-reference, we saw 24 numbers that didn't exist in the EHR. So what is that? That's 24 new patients, right? So we said, well, how do we solve this? This has got to be an overwhelming issue for a lot of people. So we then created what we call Charlie AI. Named it after one of my wife's favorite cats. She tells me it's not allowed to be my favorite cat. It's my wife's favorite cat. But basically, when the phone rings, we have a answer machine in the cloud. And so it's still, your message, you still record it just like you would on a normal answer machine. However, we automatically check the incoming number against your EHR. Is the phone number in there? Is it an existing patient, or there's no record, so it's a new patient? And we'll play 2 different messages. So if it's a new patient, we'll play one message. If it's an existing patient, we'll play a different message. But beyond that, because again, what were they doing? They were hanging up. So we want to capture the hangups. So then if they hang up or they leave a message, it doesn't matter. We're going to automatically send them a text. And again, if it's a new patient, we send one text. If it's an existing patient, we send a different text. But basically something along the lines, hey, sorry, we missed you. It looks like you're trying to schedule. If it's an existing patient, please download the scheduling app, get registered so you can control your schedule online. If it's a new patient, somebody will get back to you right away, or text me for your day or time, however the office wants the flow to go. And so that's been awesome, catching more new patients, again, from marketing dollars that were already being spent, right? Because you can control when your ads play, but typically everybody plays just 24/7 nonstop. Their Facebook ads, their Google ads, everything's just going, right? Google obviously doesn't have a timer, so it doesn't turn off when you're not in the office. So if somebody Googles you, you're going to be there. So that was a very fun expansion. And then what else did we recently release? Oh, we recently released our responsive drag and drop email editor. So very high tech, beautiful kind of thing like you would see in MailChimp or Constant Contact or one of these massive billion-dollar companies. And so it's a great email editor. You can make pretty emails. You can do your newsletters, announcements, whatever it is you want to do inside the email. It was another feature that we just released. Nice. And then what else we got? We got the provider app is another fun one. I don't think you and I have ever talked about that, Mark. So we created an app where you can take your calendar on the go. You can you take your texting on the go. So if you're out of the office and somebody does text you after hours, you can actually respond via the ReviewWave app on your smartphone, Android or iPhone, and use your business number texting from your cell phone to respond to their text. You don't have to give out your own cell phone to get after hours texts. So those were massive. And then automated campaigns, I think, would be the kind of the thing that ties it all together. So anything that you do more than once, send a welcome email to a patient, send a reactivation message, send a missed appointment text. All of these things should be consistent. They should be done the exact same way every single time. Just like you would expect in a franchise. You go to Starbucks in, Brazil, it's going to be the same, dark roast as if you go to Starbucks in Los Angeles or whatever it is, right? So every, the success is the consistency in doing things the same way. And so campaigns frees your staff up and allows that to happen. So those are the high level technologies we've been working on, and the deep integrations, and reading the calendar to know if a patient's checked in or not checked in, to send the missed appointment text automatically is going to reduce your churn. Yeah, lots of good stuff.
Well, that's awesome. And in my consulting days and stuff like that, we used to talk about the front door, the back door, and the side door, and it looks like you got them all covered. So you open the front door, close the side door, and close the back door. So if you've got things that are automated, one thing, we talk about campaigns a lot, and that's got a marketing and sales term for usually larger companies. And it's nice to bring that into the chiropractic world, because it's automation. It just creates something that you do every single time. If this happens, and that goes next, and that goes next. And, you have to sit and think about it, because, a lot of people are not tech savvy, how do you kind of get around that? Just by creating those automations and stuff?
Yeah, so we create the workflows, we create all the concepts, we put templates into our platform, so literally anybody can come in and just turn it on. However, it's 100% customizable, so you still have the ability to add your culture, your fit, your spin to the words, this kind of thing. But yeah, just literally in a 1 hour setup call, we can get 90% of the automation going, and then with a few minutes of your web team's time, you got the online scheduling going. You're really off to the races, and then from there you can continue to do boost calls, we call them, with our team, and we continue to build the team to make sure we have more than enough staff. I'm waiting to hear back on another 10,000 square foot building we just put an offer in on to lease. So we're gonna be. We did just get this 10,000, and now we want the one couple doors down, so we can again double down. We just passed 50 team members, and we're predicting over 100 by the end of the year. That's kind of the crazy path that we're having. So having a lot of fun, a lot of success, and then we also do live events. So if you really want to take your practice to the next level, we've got 2,500 square foot training center here in Orange County, California, and we do live trainings once a month. So you can come in, bring your team, be with our trainers, see the whole platform, work through all your settings, get everything done, and customize just the way you want. And that's great, because a lot of times you have to come out of your environment, take a break for a second to really focus on things like this. When you're talking about big systems that can run for literally years in your office, taking a couple days to set aside is an exciting thing.
Yeah, that's what we find a lot with Platinum as well, is that a lot of offices are just islands out there, and what you don't know, you don't know. And it's nice to get out and talk to other people and do that as well. Is that included in your fee and everything like that, those training sessions?
The live training is extra, because there's a big cost for us. We cater lunches, and we take our team off of the other stuff, so we do have to charge a little extra for that. But there's unlimited virtual support via Zoom and all that kind of stuff.
Gotcha. You just do chiropractic, or do you do other fields as well? Just out of curiosity.
We do other fields as well. And so, what I learned years ago from one of my mentors, he said, if you only work in your one industry, you're only going to, know what that industry does. And so early, 12 years ago, I started looking into other industries to see what they were doing that I could bring into, the stuff I was doing inside of chiropractic. But now it's really, for what we've done, you take similar kind of businesses like dentists or optometrists, et cetera, and you get to see, what are companies in those verticals that are similar to us doing, and, how can we be challenged from that, and how can that make us grow even more? And so, we've expanded through, we work with audiologists, optometrists, dentists, orthodontists, chiropractors, and that's it right now.
Awesome. So kind of spreading out, doing everything, but it's nice to see those other worlds, because sometimes those other worlds, those systems, especially in the EHR business, those systems are $100,000 a month. They're not cheap. They're really got a lot of huge money behind them and everything like that, where chiropractic is a little bit smaller industry, and you kind of got to fit with who your clientele is with what we try to really focus on what's going on there as well. So it's neat to break out to those other industries. And we're trying to look at those other industries as well, comparing what's going on. It's a great way to compare yourself against what's happening out there.
Yeah, it's a big opportunity to learn and be challenged, and it really benefits everybody. So I think staying within one industry is certainly a business model, but if you really want to expand, I think it's great that you guys are looking at what other industries could challenge you and things like that. So it's been a huge asset for us to have those challenges, because there are very unique challenges in each industry. Like care plans is a chiropractic challenge, and so we do have features on care plans, and we've got this mission control section I didn't even talk about, where the staff can just literally live and see what patients are aren't confirmed for today, what patients missed yesterday, what patients are behind on their care plans, what patients have birthdays today, like all the things that you would have to do in a day as a front desk CA. But that's not necessarily the same in optometry or dental. And so seeing the different challenges there, and then how can we take those challenges and improve there and also bring it over here has been a lot of fun.
I was going to say, if you're seeing somebody 3 times a week as a dentistry, they got some really jacked up teeth. So, but that chiropractic, see them 3 times a week for 4 or 5 weeks, and there's like, it's a different challenge, a different world. That's why a lot of times the medical industry does software and things like that just doesn't cross over. It's just not the same type of industry. Right. And then even in the chiropractic industry, you've got a chiropractor is not a chiropractor. So there's many different types of chiropractors inside of that. So it's always a unique challenge how you match each one of these people with what you do and get the best out of what they do. What do you see for the future as far as, like, I know artificial intelligence, talk a little bit about that, and where do you think it's going here?
Yeah, I mean, artificial intelligence is going to continue to get better and better. It's not quite at where it needs to be to really take off like wildfire in the medical industry yet. But I see it in the very near future. I mean, if you think about, just 5 years ago where technology is compared to where it is today, and how much faster it continues to progress, I mean, we're certainly going to be there in the very, very near future. And so we've actually built out a ton of code that once that technology catches up, we've already got the code ready to plug it into to do some pretty amazing things that we're excited about. I mean, obviously technology with other industries might go more virtual, but it's pretty impossible to do that with chiropractic. You got to get hands-on, face-to-face. So, I think at this point, there's a couple of interesting plays that we're working on to streamline the office even more, make their marketing even more successful, make their staff's lives even easier, et cetera. Which I can't quite let out of the bag, but maybe next time we'll talk in a couple months. I'll be able to throw some of those around, which will be fun. But yeah, it's really just the simplicity. What I find is a lot of offices try to overcomplicate things, and in business, especially the business we're in, as well as the business you're in, as you scale, and you go beyond like 2 or 3 people or 5 people on a team, you get into 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. You really have to have systems that are trainable to other people, scalable to other people. And so my hope to see in chiropractic over the next couple of years is that even more people, first of all, go to EHRs. I mean, there's still I think 30% of the industry is on paper, right? Yeah. And if you're listening to this and you're on paper, then this is a challenge. Maybe you're getting ready to retire, whatever it is, but you got to build something that's sellable. You got to build something that one of the young guys can pick up and continue the crusade. But then, I mean, we've got offices, that have no staff and only use ReviewWave to run, their entire office. Then we've got offices that have 10 staff and use ReviewWave to streamline it to get them that much further. So you can do whatever you want to do with technology for your lifestyle. But me personally, I mean, I come from the largest family of chiropractors in the world, 80 plus chiropractors in our family. Wow. I want to see chiropractic expand, and I want to see chiropractors treating more than 15, 20% of the population, which is so low for how long it's been around. So, I really hope to see more adoption on people doing things like using tools like ReviewWave to help automate their systems and expand. Because really, all offices should be doing, 1,000, 2,000 visits a week and have multiple doctors and various things, because there's enough population to go around. That's for sure.
what would you say the ideal time to get into something like Review Wave would be? I mean, a lot of practices like, oh, I'm too small, or I can't do that, or I don't, do that. But what would you say to that?
Day 0. I mean, 30 days before you open, one of the things, and I know it won't necessarily be the most popular reference, but I think it's a good reference because it's true, is, the model of the joint, right?
Yep.
They sell these franchises, and when they do the build out, they put a banner across the front and it says, for a new patient special, text gift to, whatever the number is, and they hang that there for 60 or 90 days during the build out. If they do that, and I know all this data because I'm one of my best friends actually owns a company that does all the marketing for the joint, as well as Massage Envy and 3,500 other franchise locations of things. So we share a lot of inside secrets, but they basically get their ROI back in 50% of the time as if you don't. Hmm. So if they invest in a few $100s 90 days early or whatever it is, they make a return on, I don't know what the franchise is, $100,000. I mean, they make it in 50% of the time. So it always pencils, to do good marketing, right? So the sooner the better, scheduling people for, online for, your launch day, whatever that may be. We had so many newer docs that can't afford a staff member yet, right? Yeah. But for $299 a month, you can have all these things going on automated, and your patients are being able to text you, and you've got the app, and in between patients, you can answer those or whatever. It's really, it's not a cost, it's an investment. Sure. And, I know you guys use a lot of tools, software tools, marketing tools, et cetera. I mean, I think if I added up all the tools that we use that would equate to kind of what Review Wave does for chiropractors, we probably spend about $5,000 a month on software. Yeah. For our team. Oh yeah. And so it's all relative. You got to invest. You got to look at it as a business investment, not a cost. So yeah, day one and forever. And the more team members you get, the more valuable it even becomes.
And that's a good point, because, like I said, if you don't have a team member, well, those things are, Platinum and Review Wave, they're both designed to take a lot of that day-to-day stuff away from you to where you can just see patients. And that's really what chiropractors want to do. They just want to see patients. They want to adjust. So if you can automate that and put in campaigns and put in, cycles that really kind of just take care of the whole practice for you, you can get up, see pretty high numbers without staff members in a hurry. That's not to say that you shouldn't, but you can if you need to do that. And, those are great tools to use, especially when you get started. And that's what we try to talk to a lot of people coming out of school about and move forward with that. Get your credit card process automated, get all your stuff automated, get it. So let technology work for you. Don't fight it, because it's going to be there, and it's going to, it's always changing. It's going to grow more and more.
Absolutely.
So you're in California. How'd y'all come out of COVID? I mean, did you have some challenges there, or everything work out okay?
We're all still alive.
That's good.
I mean, everybody here, I don't want to offend anybody. If you had somebody that, didn't make it, it's sad, but, we're here, we're pumping. I mean, we focused on what we can control. Right. Yeah. And so, we kept everybody safe. We expanded despite that. And, I think the majority of our clients all are in a better place now, even than they were pre-COVID. We hear those testimonials coming in all the time, 25% better, 10% better, over, best month over, even pre-COVID. And a lot of what I think COVID taught us is just, you got to communicate with your patients. Right. So they're being communicated, what is it? You get like 2,300 unique advertisements a day or something pushed in your head. So there's a lot of messages coming at you, and so if you're not one of those messages to your patients, then they're going to follow somebody else's advice, so being that beacon of sanity in a world that was definitely on the crazy side of things, very scared, very uncertain of where things would go, communication and being that for your patients. And that's what Review Wave's texting, was able to do for them. So, I hope everybody took care of their immune systems and got healthier and didn't gain the quarantine 15, or if they did, at least, has dropped it now, because it's almost summer and It's gonna be warm. Let's get out to the beaches. Let's have some fun.
I can believe that. Just try to, what we need to do is get out and start seeing each other again. I mean, we haven't seen each other probably for a year and a half. And, but I think you dressed out of Simon Cowell's wardrobe there. So yeah, I think I always see you in a black t-shirt and jeans. So
Yeah, it's a funny thing. It's actually a Steve Jobs interview years back. Why does he always wear the same thing? He just didn't have to make the decision anymore.
there you go.
Like if you got 100 things in your thing every day, you got to make that one little decision. And so it's kind of the same thing as Review Wave. If you just know what you're going to wear the next day, or you know certain systems are going to work, then you don't have to make those decisions anymore. One of my favorite things as a person is I put all my bills on bill pay and I don't even think about them. Right? You used to have to write checks and mail them in envelopes. Like, forget about that. Use technology and just get rid of the things that you don't have to do.
Well, I think that's a great theme for everything. Let stuff work for you. Don't fight it. Don't beat around the bush. Let it work for you because it's out there and they'll do it. So just invest a little bit in it and it'll come back to you big time for sure. Well, I know you guys are really all about kind of elevating that patient experience in the office. I mean, I'm sure you have a game plan and a roadmap that you want to go, but the future of chiropractic is going to be that way. How do you guys feel that impact is really going to move by creating that extra patient experience then?
Yeah. So, again, the world is growing up with technology. I think kids that are, getting in their teens now had an iPad babysitter more than they had a real babysitter.
Oh yeah.
So as they, even, more so in the next 10 years, people are really going to want to use technology to schedule and handling their scheduling. And so if you haven't embraced that, if you're one of these guys or gals that are sitting there going, I got to control my schedule, I got to do this, I got to do that, I'm not going to give it up. You really got to think about, what does the patient want? I mean, I don't know, you ask yourself, do you like calling restaurants, being on hold, and then asking the gal, hey, can I make a reservation for this time at this place, or do you just like, the same Google search and the little button on the Google map says schedule an appointment and you click on that and then you get your reservation within like 3 seconds without having to talk to anybody, without having to be on hold, you get an email confirmation and you go about your life, right? Yeah. That's a great experience, right? That's why Open Table works so well, is it's a great experience. So your office has to be that great experience. And if you do these things, if you have a great experience from scheduling, and then if you have a welcome campaign that maybe shows them a video tour of your office and your staff. So when they drive in your parking lot, they feel like, oh, I've been here before because they've seen it all in the video. Then they walk in the door. There's that familiarity. Then your staff isn't so busy answering the phones because you're using systems like ours. They're able to walk around the counter and actually greet them, maybe give them a welcome bag, depending on what you guys do in your office. If you do these things, your day one's going to go a lot easier. Your day two is going to go a lot easier. You're going to get a higher sign-up rate. You're going to get more referrals. I mean, it's a snowball effect, And so if you feel like you're struggling, if you're sub 100 visits a week, you definitely need tools like this to change how you interact with your patients, to elevate it, because their healthcare will be affected on whether they enjoy seeing you or not. Because if they don't enjoy seeing you, if it's not that nice to come into your office, they're probably not going to finish their care plan. They're going to start missing occasionally, and they're going to start missing more frequently, and then they're going to just disappear, right? The average office has so many more inactive files than they have active files, right? Oh. And what is that? That's patients that didn't have a great experience and left, right? I mean, my philosophy, and maybe, some of the listeners will disagree, but I get adjusted every week. We have a team chiropractor. He comes in the office. We have our entire team under chiropractic care on a weekly basis. It's a lifestyle to me, not a 36 visits and then I'm done. Right. So, if you want to run a successful business, having people come back, once a month for the rest of their life is going to be a lot easier than, getting new patients every single month.
Exactly. I always think, if you just had one patient, how would you want to treat that one patient? What would you want to do for them? Now, how do you do the same thing with 50? How do you do the same thing with 100, 500, 1,000? And that's where you guys come in, and technology and Platinum really comes in and says, how do we give the same experience if I just had the one customer and they think that's the only one there? And I think that's really the future of chiropractic myself is, because I used to get a lot of times, they'd say, there's 3 chiropractors on the block. I don't know if I want to open up in this area, stuff like that. Well, how many McDonald's and all fast foods you see? They're all right around each other, get in there, that you can't, there's not enough people in the world to be seen by chiropractors to even matter. So
Right.
don't be afraid of that. Jump in there, do it, use technology to help you out and move forward. So I think that's a great tool. It's a great tool. So anything you want to add here, Matt? How do they get a hold of you?
The best thing to do is jump on our website, reviewwave.com, book a free demo, get a, full, tour of all our features. One of our, expert staff members will go through your specific situation. What is your PVA? What are your PVs? What's your website rankings, your Google, compared your reviews, ratings, et cetera, compared to everybody else, what we think will have happen if, you use the system. And, we actually have, as far as I know, the only 60-day satisfaction guarantee in the entire industry, where if for any reason you're not happy in the first 60 days, we'll, shake hands and split ways as friends. But all that said, we have less than 1% of our clients leave on a monthly basis, which is extremely, extremely low for a software company of our type. So, we're here, we're serious about helping you expand your practice. And, I've done everything in my power to build the most powerful tool to help you do it with the easiest way possible.
Awesome. Well, Matt, thank you so much for your time today. Again, www.reviewwave.com if you help them. If you want to know more about Platinum, look us up, platinumsystem.com as well. Great having you. I hope to see you again sometime out there on the road, and we'll have dinner again.
Sounds good, Mark. Look forward to it. Thanks for having me.
Have a great day.